In this video, I'm going to explain the basic rules of the indirect object and its replacing pronoun in a Spanish language. First, let's see what an indirect object is, and then I'll discuss the form and place of the pronoun replacing it. An indirect object is a word or phrase that receives the direct object. It sounds pretty complicated, but it's not that bad. A few examples, and the indirect objects are shown in red and the direct objects are shown in green. The teacher gives the students cake. The students receive the direct object being the cake. You can also say the teacher gives them cake. And also in the last example, she brings her mother some flowers. Her mother receives the direct object being the flowers. And here you see the list of the pronouns replacing the indirect object in Spanish. Me, me, te, you, le, him, her or it, nos, us, os, you, and les, them. Of course, an example. Juan compra un regalo para su madre. Juan le compra un regalo. Juan buys a present for his mother. He buys her a present. The pronoun replacing the indirect object goes directly before the verb. A few examples. Laura me prepara un café. Laura makes me a cup of coffee. Te llevo algo. Can I bring you something? Miguel le llevó flores. Miguel brought her some flowers. Nos presta su coche. He lends us his car. Os escribo una carta. I write you a letter. And les damos la receta. We give them the recipe. Now, if there's an infinitive in the sentence, you can attach the pronoun to it. Voy a darte un beso. I'm going to give you a kiss. You could also say, te voy a dar un beso. That just sounds a little less Spanish than voy a darte un beso. Now, I just told you in the previous slide that the pronoun replacing the indirect object comes right before the verb. However, I say exactly the same in the video about the pronoun replacing the direct object. And they cannot both come directly before the verb. One has to come before the other. So in case there are both an indirect object and a direct object in the sentence, then the indirect object comes first, then the direct object, and then the verb. And to complicate things further, in case of the indirect object being le or les, then it changes into se. So, if you see the example, it's se lo traigo enseguida and not le lo traigo enseguida. It sounds also a bit funny. So, le or les changes into se. So now you know what an indirect object is, the pronouns replacing it, and where to place it in a sentence.